It's just interesting how wrapped up and how mentally challenging those things are. Physically challenging, yes, but there's a hard mental thing. And that mental thing, when you can overcome whatever mental hurdles you personally have that are holding you back, you unlock like a new level of your game. Like now I'm one of these people, when I compete, I'm better in the competition than I am in the gym. 100%. I compete better because being in those situations, it excites me now. It doesn't make me nervous. It's actually the same feeling, but the way that I interpret it is different. I don't interpret it as nervousness. I interpret it as general excitement as my body's getting ready for something. And because of that, I tend to perform better now than I did or than I do in the gym. And I start doing all kinds of wacky stuff sometimes when I'm out there, and I walk off the mat now and I look back and I'm like, dude, who was that? Mm-hmm. Like, hey, that person looks like me, like whatever, plays a similar jiu-jitsu, but they're different. It's like it's a different person that takes over when I compete. And again, that's a part of that's because I don't get my own way with any sort of worry about the what ifs. What if this happens? So what? What if it happens? That doesn't mean anything. My chances of winning are far more likely if I get out of my own damn way and just let something happen.
Yeah. That fear, man, you've learned how to let go of that fear. And that's something, like, for many reasons, whether it's you don't want to run out of steam during the match, you don't want to, go hard if it's 6 minutes and you run out of steam after 4 minutes, then that cardio is not there. It could be fear of that. It could be fear of your techniques not being sound, fear of your opponent having, a lot of it's mental, honestly. Like, if you can, like you said, pull the trigger like the way you do at the gym, for most people, like, you're going to be first and you're going to hit your techniques. But if you're just like waiting, like you said, that one other guy sent you that message, they couldn't kind of take off, and when they did, it was too late. Like, I think there's actually value in that. I think going through those experiences as well is valuable, because then you realize, oh, if I just, what to do.
Sure.
So again, it's like, it is a mistake in a way, but if you don't learn from it, it's just a pointless mistake, and it's something you're going to continue to repeat.
Well, right. I mean, the thing is if you can hang on and just get in there and compete against someone and not lose, well, then that you can hang with people.
Sure.
So why don't you just go? Like, if you're already hanging with them, you're not getting submitted left and right. Well, then you obviously know that you can hang with people. So we might as well go after them. It's like one of my old boxing coaches. I remember he told me this back when I was learning how to box, and as a pure grappler, getting into boxing was a struggle. It felt very weird to punch and get punched. And I remember he like brought me over to the side. He's like, "Hey, Chew," brought me over, and he said, "Look," because what was happening is I was going in there and I wasn't punching because I was scared of getting hit. And he said, "Listen, this is boxing." He said, "So 2 things are going to happen. You're going to get hit, or you're going to get hit and you're going to hit them." And he looked at me and said, "I don't know about you, but I like getting my licks in too." And he just kind of said it. He walked out of the ring, and then like we had another sparring session. And so it was basically like, I got to throw some punches. I got to go after the guy, because otherwise I'm going to get hit regardless. I might as well get a little something too, And so for me, again, going back to the match, like, in jiu-jitsu, like, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. People are going to hit techniques on you. You're going to hit techniques on them. You might as well go after them and try to hit your own techniques, right? You might as well try to get you some too. Yep. And whatever happens. And, I think it was something that always kind of stuck with me about that.
Yeah. I guess in a way, accepting or not being afraid of the worst possible outcome. If you're already like, hey, this is a possibility and I accept that it is, and just go after it, and not fear that it's going to be something, because you can handle it. It is a difficult concept to grasp your head around when something like jiu-jitsu or even boxing or MMA means so much. And there's for you personally, there's a lot on the line because of the value you put on the activity. I mean, you saw it like an MMA, right? Talks about those Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis. They like threw like 30 punches or something the whole fight. And it was because they knew the other person had power and they didn't want to get hit, which I don't blame them. Shit, they're heavyweights and they can knock each other out.
Right.
It makes perfect sense to me as someone that's never done MMA, but like you saw that at the highest level too, it can kind of happen. So I think just, I guess if you accept the outcome, and just go for it. But yeah, the other the other point is, like you said, well, I might as well do what I'm gonna do. If something's gonna happen, I might as well like get my licks in or punch them first and just see what happens, because I'm gonna get punched anyways.
Yeah, and the whole thing is again going back to it. The matches that I won where I was worried about the winning instead of worried about the techniques.
Yeah.
I tended to not be too satisfied with those, because I would look back on them and be like, man, I didn't really show what I could really do. And then the matches where I was kind of void of any thought of winning or losing, those are the matches where I walked away and I was like, God dang, man. Like, regardless of how I ended up, whether I won or lost, most of the time I won. But even if I lost, I was like, damn, I felt good.